Good evening, everyone. It's yours truly, Tammi B and Company. And I just got to welcome you all to another session of Real Talk with Tammi B and Company, the show where we are recording live and unedited. So, guess what? You know what they say in church? Take all mistakes for love. That's what we do in these parts. And so I am excited as always to one, have you beautiful people with us, a part of the conversation to which the chat on YouTube is open. So if you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to enter them into the chat and I will read them out loud to our guest of the hour because I am sure you are going to have some questions because I already do. I've been waiting to have this conversation, especially with the endeavors that I am doing in life. So, but before we get started, I do want to ask you, lovely people, if you are not part of our community, to please click on the subscribe button to join us as we are here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, bringing you new content. And before I bring about our guest of the hour, it has been a while, Cola. I'm gonna no. I'm gonna do it in reverse. Miss Cola. I'm gonna say the best for last because he been gone for a while. Miss Cola E the Great. What's good, my love?
Nothing much, girl. Enjoying this daylight savings time. As you can see, it is still daylight where I am, and today was such a beautiful day. It's warm outside. It takes me back. I live in Florida in my head. So
Yes.
today is a Florida day for me. It feels so much like Florida weather today. So I'm doing good today. I'm in my favorite place. I'm in Florida.
I look.
The weather is mimicking Florida. It's giving Florida today, so that's why I am. I'm doing good.
No, it really is. And guess what? You got those Florida colors on. Florida orange, boo. Florida orange. Well,
What?
you go, but it's still in the same
Yeah,
family.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. So you have to
And looking all bright and colorful.
yeah, yeah.
And my man, Shelly E. the Great. But before I even bring Shelly, I want to introduce everyone to Mr. Kevin Marquez. Kevin, welcome. I'm going to
Good
read your
night,
bio, but we want to greet you. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening.
and thank
And
you for having me.
before Thank you. I'm sorry. I should have paused and breathed there. I told you we made mistakes. See, these are times when you wish I had an editor. But Shelly Sims, what's good, my
Yes,
man?
ma'am.
Where you been, Shelly? We've been missing you in these parts, Shelly. What's
Hey,
up?
it's rough out here just trying to stay focused. And speaking
Yeah.
of daylight savings times, like I heard that hour they took from me was the hour I was going to use to get my stuff together. So I'm just a little behind.
Hey, Shelly, for real though, I looked up and it was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, wait, it's supposed to be 6 o'clock right now. Like, what is going on here? I feel like that hour like sped up into like each minute went by. 5 minutes went 1 minute. Each minute went by 5 minutes or something like that. Because I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with the time. And we see you out in
Yeah.
the streets.
So, but I'm here.
But you hear what you
Yeah,
say,
I'm
brother?
here. I'm here, and I apologize for my absence, but I'm here now.
Oh, first of all, let's be clear. We appreciate you, so we understand when you're not here. But to the viewers who did ask about you, he apologizes to you because to me,
Yes,
I'm just
definitely, definitely.
grateful for him being here. So, but look, let the people know where you at, Shelly, because we know you not home. We know, look, we know
I,
that beautiful background with the
Yeah. See the telescope.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wish I was at home. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, right now, so I have some family stuff here.
okay.
Honey, Shelly.
So, but I couldn't finish it again. So, I made sure everything stopped.
Wow, Midwest. You the man, Shelly. You be on every different time zone. That's why I gotta reiterate the Eastern time because Cola is in Cashville, Nashville, and yeah,
AK Florida.
and Florida. That's right, and Florida. So now,
That's in my head.
hey, all right. So our guest of the hour, Kevin. As a matter of fact, Kevin, you got a shout out in the chat already. Carl shouts you out, Kevin. He
Oh
is
yeah.
Yes, he is here supporting you. So, Carl, we say hello and thank you so much for joining us. So, let me tell you guys a little bit about Kevin. Kevin is a cool dude. I met Kevin a couple months back at a networking event. And we just clicked, and I was like, and he was talking that tax stuff. Gonna tell you, read his bio. But I was like, okay, Kevin, you know what? I need you to come on my show because it's tax season and this is some information that the public need to hear about because you all know I am about me and company are about bringing things that add value to your life. And so if you are a business owner or thinking about becoming a business owner, I feel you will gain value for this conversation. So let me tell you a little bit about Kevin. His business, AccuTax Business and Financial Services, was established in New Orleans, Louisiana. Is that how you know Demond?
Yes, we all grew up in the same neighborhood.
Oh my God. Okay, y'all, let me tell y'all success and greatness has come out of New Orleans. I'm going to tell you guys why I said that in a minute. So, Kevin is a graduate of Xavier University of LA with a BS in finance and Grand Canyon University with an MED in secondary education and EDS in educational leadership. Since 2003, they have served individuals and small businesses in multiple states with tax, bookkeeping, payroll compliance, and business insurance needs. So, AccuTax Business is a full service company that provides an array of products and services that help to keep your business equipped for unfortunate life events and compliant with the IRS and State Department of Revenue. And they also have some other services such as bookkeeping, payroll, life, health and disability insurance, business insurance. So, Kevin, welcome. Thank you for
And I
joining.
thank you for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And let me tell you guys why I say it's some greatness that has come out of Nala because we have a mutual friend, and his name is Damon Crump, and I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm going to probably bring him on the show because Damon one has taken a personal investment in me, and he has been really pulling me, inviting me to networks, putting me in front of people, connecting me. So I'm grateful. And let me tell you what makes this more special because the Mind was featured on Black Enterprise. He was featured in Essence. He is a multimillionaire and he has a heart for helping the people, and he has a company by the name of Rain, which is a sanitary napkin for women that literally can help reverse some of the monthly issues that they have been experiencing. In fact, he took us on a tour of the facility the other day, and I need to load it on YouTube. So when I do, if you are not a part of my channel, please subscribe because you want to hear. And when I tell you he is humble and down to earth, this guy he is. So I really appreciate Demond. That's a shout out to him. But back to you, Kevin. I didn't know that you were from Nala. So that also explains that connection. So like I said, greatness. Because I've met some other people from New Orleans and I have seen the greatness in the work that they're doing. So, Kevin, just a little question just to get to know you a little bit. If you What is the what is your favorite place that you have traveled to, and tell us why?
Jamaica, Jamaica and Cancun. I mean, it's like a tie because I've been to both of them. But
Uh-huh.
I just like that blue water, the blue water in the ocean.
The blue
And you,
water.
yeah, you ain't gonna find no blue water in Georgia. It's gonna most likely be red or gonna be kind of brown or something.
This is true. This is true. What's something that you did over there that you just found to be so enjoyable that if somebody said, "Hey, Kevin, if I go to Jamaica or Cancun, what should I do?"
You got to jump off the cliff at least one time. So you know the cliff they got different heights, but you got to hit it at least one time. I done did it twice so far. I'm not doing it three times though. I might strike out on that third one. So I done did my two times and I'm finished. But you have to jump off the cliff at least one time when you go to Jamaica.
Now, when you're jumping, are you parasailing or are you jumping into the water?
Now you jump in the water, but they gonna give you a life jacket. You gonna go down a little bit, but you'll come back up.
Okay, so I don't think I ever shared with those who, since we've been doing these shows. So when you talk about jumping back in 2020, I think it was, I would like to say peer pressure, but being that this was my 30-year-old child, it's hard to say it was peer pressure. I went skydiving.
Hmm. And guess what? I'm scared of that.
Listen, I was too. To the point. So it's interesting. He talked me into doing the indoor, which that didn't require a lot of talking. Okay, that's inside the year before, and then we leave, and he's like, "Okay, let's do the real thing next year." I was like, "Boy, have you lost your mind?" And so with him and three other early 30-ish people, I'm almost 50 because I was 49 at the time.
Mm.
I give into it. So that's why I said I can't even say peer pressure. That was just like, okay. And at first it was, let me go first and get it over with. But when that plane got there and that door opened,
I can imagine.
baby, look how y'all say it, baby.
Are you gonna do it again?
Absolutely not. Look, I had to catch myself. I said, hell no. But look, I'm one and done. I'm one and done. But when it was time, I had to let all of them go. And then I was like, that's okay. Y'all can take me back. Y'all can take me back. I'm good. And he was like, he kept inching me towards the edge, inching me towards the edge. And he's like, are you sure? Are you sure? And finally I said, you know what, God, if it's my time, I'm out of here. So I did it. I did it. But no, I won't do it again. I don't do it. That wasn't even on my bucket list. So that's one of them things that hit the bucket list and came off.
You get points for that. You get
Say
extra
that
points. You get extra points in life for that one.
again. Trust me, because everybody that I told, the first thing I heard, but black people don't skydive. So, hey, I am a soldier. I am a soldier. Okay. All right. So, thank you for that little entertaining me with that little conversation about the cliff dive. Oh, and for the record, my uncle wants to go parasailing all over in Germany somewhere, and I was like, sir, okay, I'm gonna need y'all to find some land. I know you got that air, land, and sea stuff. Can we find something to do on the land, please? But
Yeah.
yes, so although in Germany, I do want to go drive on the autobahn. I do want to do that. I want to see what it's like to do 200 plus miles per hour and not have to worry about a cop, a ticket. People gonna get out your way. So I don't know. I am an adrenaline junkie. Okay, one more question for you, and I'm gonna actually ask this question to you and you, Colin, Shelley, because I don't think I've ever asked y'all this question. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, is I would say Life.
Okay, life. As the baby pappy.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's that one.
As the you gonna eat your cornbread.
That right there.
So Cola, y'all see I'm hyped. I'm full of energy tonight. I don't know. This daylight saving time, something I don't know. Cola, what's your favorite movie?
Oh no, girl. I have a couple of them. I have like a top 10 list, but I'm gonna say once. I think my top two. Don't call me lame. Will be The Last Samurai and Dances with Wolves.
Okay. You already know, Shelly. No, we will not call dancing. Will see the sad part is, Cola. I can't even give you a line from your movie. I apologize.
Yeah, Dances with Wolves, The Last Samurai, and then you know what? I'm gonna throw Color Purple on that list.
Okay. Okay. I rocks with that. I rocks with that. All right, Shelly, you was hitting that mute button. What you got for me?
Probably my favorite is Boys in the Hood, and then it's a tie with that in Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk
Calm
Down.
down is too good.
You know that me and military movies don't do well. But I do know, I have heard that that is a really good movie. I just personally couldn't get into it because I just
What
I like
I,
army movies.
what you say, Shelley?
I like army movies.
Yeah, but you know what? I think one of the main things I liked about Black Hawk Down is that it's based on a true story.
It's real.
mm,
Yeah, it's like for real. Yeah.
oh, now I
That
might
and
have
Boys
to watch it.
in
Say that again, Shelly.
and Boys in the Hood, though, that's another one that's real life.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely real life. All day. All day.
I
And you
think
know what, with your boys in the hood, I ain't trying to go nowhere else. But you know, I really didn't understand it until I was probably like 30. Like, you know, you see what goes on, you relate to it, all of it's relatable. But the entire storyline,
Yeah.
I got that on a deeper level, probably at about 30 years old. I was like, man, this is really awesome. It's really a deep movie if you look at it in a mature mindset.
in what concept?
Mature, not just look at it for entertainment, but look at it with a mature mind. It's deep.
You know what's interesting about that statement? If you look at quite a few movies from a like almost a different mindset, out take away the entertainment, you
Yes.
can really get the message in a lot of movies.
Girl, let me tell you what I went all the way back to last week. I don't know if y'all remember the movie Lord of the Flies.
Oh no, I don't see.
I've heard of it. I've
It's
heard
a,
of it. I've never
it
watched
came
it.
out in like, I'm 46, and so I had to be about 8 or 9 or 10 when it came out.
Mm.
And I only look, of course, you know, you saw it from a 10-year-old's perspective. And it's about a bunch of boys that get stranded on this, little boys that get stranded on an island. And I went back and looked at that because I'm into that now, going back and looking at childhood movies to see the difference, what I can really, you know, see. And that's a deep movie too.
Mm. Okay, so Lord of the Flies and Black Hawk Down.
At those childhood movies at the age that you are now.
Yeah,
Well,
you understand the point or why how the director or whoever wrote it was so passionate. Like you see where he was coming
Right,
from.
right.
mm, but you know, I think what we said that was it last week when we were having the conversation on the law of detachment, like that movie who cloned Tyrone. A lot of people didn't catch it. They didn't catch it, but there was a message there. There was a reality that we're living right now there. Go ahead, cause all y'all started shaking your head on that one.
Listen, I think we have a unofficial building on one of our main highways down the street from me, where the factory is at. Girl, honey, they got it's this piece of land that they have. It's a fence around it. It's an old Kmart. You guys know Kmart went out of business. It's
Mm-hmm.
an old Kmart. They have a big fence around it. That fence wasn't there when Kmart was there. So the building is abandoned now, and they have a big fence around the whole thing. They keep security in the parking lot. And then they have one of those big tall, I don't know if y'all seen one of those big tall like police lights. It sits on like this machine that has wheels on it. Then it's a long
Mm-hmm.
rod, and then it has the blue light, and that's in the parking lot too.
Of a vacant building with
A
nothing
vacant
pretty much
building
in
with now a fence around it that's always secure. And me and Dorian, every time we go past, we swear that's one of those Tyrone factories. You swear that's a
it.
clothing factory, girl. That is a clothing factory.
Oh, oh my God, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Hey, you'll be listen. Okay, I know this off topic. We gonna come on topic, but you know I like to do a little chit chat.
Yeah.
Like you know how they have these government sites that they say like they have seen aliens, and then so you got this population say that there are no such thing as aliens, but then you hear people talk about that there really is. As a matter of fact, a while back, Danica Patrick, and that's my shero because what I said earlier, fast cars. She was interviewing this guy, and he was talking about the aliens and stuff like that. And you want to get somebody riled up, Miss Sylvia, who we had last week. She talks about stuff like that too. So it's interesting. This is not to sway anybody, but I'm just saying those conversations are being had, and there has been things about the government and these secret sites. So Cola, ain't no telling what they haven't have at that old abandoned Kmart with security, with a police light, with gates, and nothing in the building to steal.
Yeah.
Look, we're talking about taxes, cloning, and aliens.
Hey,
What a mix.
okay, and hey, that's listen. Variety is the spice of okay. All right. Well, I did say mine. For those who don't know, my favorite movie is The Matrix. And I will probably no, I can't say all Marvel movies, but I am a huge Marvels fan, and I have come to learn a lot of that stuff. Again, taking entertainment out and just kind of zoom in what they talking about. Some of that stuff is like, okay, y'all talking some deep stuff here. So,
Well, a
but
lot of it is based on a lot of the Greek gods.
okay, thank you. See, now that I did not know. Okay, I get it now because a lot of that stuff, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Okay, them things that make you
If you
go,
go back and look at the Greek gods, you'll see that a lot of their superpowers and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff they do is based on the Greek gods, which the Greeks got from the Egyptians. But I'm not going all the way there. So
wow, yeah, because we listen, y'all. Last week we had a real good conversation on the going all the way back to we even brought the Egyptians into the conversation. On the first Wednesday of the month, we had Wisdom Wednesday, and we have some amazing women that are talking, opening our consciousness up, which is one of the things that yours truly is about. So, Mr. Kevin, let's get to it, sir. Give us a high level, and then we gonna start breaking down and digging in to what exactly is it that you do in pertaining to business taxes. I know I would love to have an explanation on the difference between if I were to, like I have an LLC, if I convert to a nonprofit, is it profitable? Can I still make money, still take advantages? Um, Go ahead before, and I'll let you talk, and then I'll ask the questions as they pop in.
So you said, so you meant to say from a LLC to a S corporation?
S corp.
'Cause you said from an LLC to a nonprofit, because we'll be talking about two different situations. Because
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
that nonprofit, you wouldn't pay taxes on that. So what? Nonprofit organizations file informational returns. So most of your money gonna have to come from fundraising or some type of grants or something, and then you just file the informational return to the IRS to show them the financial activities of the business during that year, but you don't have to pay taxes on it at all. But you have to file. You have to make sure you don't fall behind on filing more than 2 years, because if you do, they're gonna revoke your nonprofit status.
Okay, so let's back up before we get that deep. Tell us about your business and tell us what you do.
All right, my business is AccuTax Business and Financial Services. It started out as AccuTax Tax Service back in 2003, and then when I kind of figured that I started seeing some other things that people needed, so I got further into it, and I got license in insurance. My degree is in finance, so I started doing some bookkeeping too, and just my goal was to just try to provide the people around me with all the knowledge that they needed to make an informed decision, whether they made a decision dealing with me or anybody else, just for people to know what they're doing. Because in a type of environment I grew up in, most people would come around there. They was deceitful, so that people would come around there selling stuff that's not really what it is, what it looks like at face value. So I just wanted to be the one to come and bring the truth to everybody so they can know what their real options are.
Okay, so talk to us about some of their options when it pertains to the business tax realm. Because this topic is business tax 101.
Gotcha.
So
All
break
right.
it down to us.
All right, so you got different structures of business. If you are a person just working by yourself, and you don't have any, you can be a sole proprietor. If you don't have anything set up with the state or anything registered, you'll just be a sole proprietor. Or you can be a single member LLC. A single member LLC, LLC is a state designation, and with the LLC and a single member LLC and a sole proprietor are really the same thing in the eyes of the IRS, because they have to file their taxes on the same form. It's called Schedule C, and there are some advantages to having single member LLCs, but not when it comes to tax purposes. So uh, for some people, it'll be better to convert the LLC. Well, get it classified, not convert, because I don't want to say that and make somebody think that they have to change the LLC. But you just file for the S corporation tax classification, and what that does is eliminate the self-employment tax that you would have to pay as a sole proprietor or a single member LLC owner, because whatever bracket your income falls in. So just say if you report 40,000 of profit from your business, that's going to be in a 12% tax bracket. So you're going to pay 12% on the taxable portion of that 40,000 after your standard deduction and everything, and you have to pay an extra 15.3% on the whole 40,000 because of the way you got the business structure as a single member LLC or as a sole proprietor. When you get the S classification, S corporation classification for tax purposes, that totally eliminates that 15.3% in taxes that you would pay for the self-employment tax. And the difference is, and also I want to say before I get a numerical spill on it, a partnership works the same way as an S corporation, because they get paid through what's called a K1 statement, and all the K1 statement does through an S corporation and a partnership, it allows the IRS to treat your active income as passive income. So that means you pay less money on passive income. So that's how that works. So let's just say if you had a company, if you had three different companies that were filing their taxes for in a specific year, and they were reporting $40,000 of profit on the business, the single member LLC and the sole proprietor gonna pay $9,002 tax liability, because they're gonna have self-employment tax of like 5,600, the extra 15.3%. Whereas the S corporation and the partnership gonna have to pay $4,500 in taxes. So that's half of the tax liability just from the way that you have it structured. And then the thing about a partnership is partnership got to be two or more people. So with a partnership, you're not even responsible for the whole burden anyway. Whatever your percentage of ownership in the company is, that's gonna be the percentage of your profit or the loss that the company has during the year. And with the S corporation, that works the same way. S corporation can have up to 100 members as long as they are U.S. citizens. And it's a few different little things that people have to consider when they are talking about S corporation, because everybody don't need an S corporation. So the first, it's advised to get an S corporation when you start to report at least $40,000 or more in profit or net income from your business, because that's when you're gonna start seeing the most savings. And of course, the more you make, the more you'll save. Like I just gave an example on $40,000, you'll be saving $4,500 in taxes that you would pay from single member LLC to S corporation. Another one is people who want to avoid payroll, because if you have an S corporation, you have to put yourself on some kind of salary, pay yourself through a W-2, which is not a lot of headache, but some people don't like to go through that, so that wouldn't be good for them if they didn't want to get involved with payroll and everything. And also people who invest in real estate. If you're a real estate investor, the income is already taxed as passive income, so you would need to do it in that situation as well.
So let me ask a question. So with an S corp, in to change over to an S corp, do you have to have somebody on payroll, or can you change over to an S corp, but you don't have to be paying anyone? Because usually when you start from my limited, that's why I want to have this
Mhm.
conversation. But from my limited knowledge, a person is supposed to be on payroll when you go S corp. Yes or no?
Yes,
You
that
don't
yeah,
have
that's what
to.
I was just saying. That's what I was just saying. You have to put yourself on payroll, at least just yourself on payroll when you get an S corp. And what that does, it seems like a hassle, but what it does, it spreads your tax burden out. Because if you're paying yourself with a W-2, more than likely you're gonna be getting taxes withheld on that federal and state. So those taxes are gonna help to offset some of the tax liability that you would have had if you was paying taxes on the whole amount of income through the business. So the business, you're gonna get a lower tax liability for being classified as an S corporation, but the taxes withheld from the W-2 is gonna also offset some of the tax burden. So it's gonna help you out because you're spreading it out.
Okay, I was just making sure, just for everyone to make sure you understand, you at least got to have one person on payroll in order to convert. You can't just go S corp with
At
no,
least yourself.
huh?
It could be yourself or more people.
Yeah.
Like everybody else can be a contractor, but you have to put yourself on payroll and pay yourself what they call a reasonable salary. But I mean, the limits of what's reasonable is, I guess that's to be determined by whoever looking at it. But you have to put yourself on payroll, and it's not much to get services for payroll, but that just depends on how much money you're trying to save at tax time.
Mm, okay.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Is there a law that states you have to pay taxes?
I mean, if I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know about a law that states that, but I know that once those companies file those W-2s by January 31st to the Social Security Administration, and whatever companies file 1099s to the IRS, they already know you made the income, so they're gonna be looking to collect the taxes on the income that get reported.
But if you don't file, they can't legally hold you responsible, or
Yeah,
can
they're
they?
gonna at some point, usually at the 3 year mark, they might start sending you notices to file. And they're gonna what they do is you get a penalty called a failure to file penalty. So that penalty can be between 5 and 25% of your expected tax liability. So you'll owe that tax liability plus that 5 to 25%. Now you can go back
Right.
and file it and get the liability part decreased, because you may have you're gonna have things to deduct that's gonna lessen the tax liability, but the penalties and stuff gonna still stay there.
So you might not even be able to answer this, but that was a good question, Shelly, because and I don't know if this is fake news, real news, but this is just conversation. Like, I don't like to say that person's name, but the man running this country, he's something about he's trying. Shelly, don't laugh, Shelly. I just don't like giving him energy. I don't. He's talking about like removing uh taxes or something about that. Have you heard anything about that? Do you have any knowledge? And don't get me wrong, I know you're not a law expert on everything, but what have you heard about that in any validity to what he is saying?
To be honest with you, I haven't heard anything about it since the last time he said something about it. I mean, I don't even really pay attention to it that much. Cause that'd probably take a lot for them to just do that. But I don't see. All I know is I read something saying that the guy who wrote his original tax cut plan said that the furthest that they may be able to go is not putting tax on tips. So that's what he said. So I mean, I don't even know if the article that I read was real. They got so much fake stuff going around with AI and all that. So I don't even much know. I just tune it out and just keep on working. So I mean, that ain't something I'm trying to entertain anyway. Nobody
No,
cutting out
I
taxes.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you because I do feel that that could get caught up. People could get caught up because I don't know what came of it, but I recall a while back, Terrence Howard was facing some trouble because he said that he's the ancestor of a slave. He doesn't have to pay taxes.
Well, he gonna be the ancestor of the IRS. Now you're gonna be Uncle Sam ancestor if he don't pay them taxes, because he gonna be in jail somewhere.
And they will make an example out of him, just like they did the other celebrity. Who was that that got locked up?
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley
Snipes,
Snipes. Yeah,
yeah, Snipes.
they will happily make an example of Terrence Howard.
And what people have to know, I mean, if you're not rich, if you're not somebody who makes like about 250,000 or more, you got to make sure you be diligent with the IRS, because that's what they really that's who the IRS, like the low income people, they don't have no real ability to fight back or nothing like that. So they're gonna, they got to make sure they be on point, because if something do happen, you get audited or you need representation. If you don't have all your stuff in order, how you gonna afford that? So that mean that's why you need to stay current with your taxes to make sure you don't get caught up in a situation like that. Because somebody who rich, if they get audited, they can pay for their audit. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the outcome of it is, but most likely you're not gonna be able to do that if you're not a high income earning person like that.
Yes, Kevin, could you please reiterate that? Because there are so many people below a certain income bracket that's always trying to get out, get through a loophole, not do this, not do that, but don't understand that when the IRS come down on you, are you going to have the money to fight that? Are
That's
you going to even have the knowledge to obtain the proper representation? Do you even know who to call, what to do if you find yourself in a situation in which the IRS is coming after you? Like, don't dig a hole for yourself because you don't
exactly.
have the type of knowledge and you're not even in the financial position.
Yep. And then the tax code is the way the tax code is written, it benefits low income individuals anyway. That's who get all the credits and stuff like that. So you have to
Yeah.
watch out. Just stay current, because the IRS also have statutes that they enforce. One is called the refund statute expiration date, called it RSAD, and that rule states that that statute enforces any tax return filed after 3 years of the due date, they can forfeit the refund. They're gonna forfeit the refund if they enforce it. So you can wait too long and have a $10,000 refund coming. If it's more than 3 years back, then they're gonna forfeit the refund. They're gonna send you a letter saying you're supposed to get a $10,000 refund, but it's being offset because you missed the expiration date for the statute. And
Whoa.
so and so I get a lot of people who file like multiple years at a time because they filing late, and most of the time they probably don't even owe as much as they think they're gonna owe. And sometimes they get small refund, but if they wait too late, the refund get confiscated by the IRS, and it just be all for nothing.
So here's a bullet. I wish we had like a column where we can put bullets for this tax information. So one, there is a statute of limitations on your refund.
Yes, it's 3 years after the due date. So just say for this year we filing 2024 taxes. The due date is April 15th, and
Mhm.
it's 2025. So April 15th, after April 15th of 2028, you ain't gonna be able to get the refund for your 2024 no more, because
That's
that's 3 years after the due date.
okay.
So
And I'm sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Coco, because I'm typing something in the chat. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, Kevin, have you come across any of these sovereign citizens who believe that they don't have to pay? Have you come across any of them?
No, I haven't, and I try to stay away from that kind of stuff right there. Because I mean,
Are
uh,
you
uh, uh,
with the sovereign citizen?
the
With
most, yeah, I'm familiar. I got the books. I got the books for the for the sovereign citizenship. I'll be reading it, but I mean,
Can
Uh,
you clear some stuff, some of the murky and muddy waters on that as a guy who is in taxes and who owns his own tax business and who has a degree in finances? Can you clear some of that up
Now,
for
with the most sovereign I ever seen somebody be in terms of taxes is filing exempt, making a whole lot of money and not getting any taxes taken out, and then thinking that when it's time to file taxes, they're supposed to get some type of refund or not supposed to owe any amount any tax liability at all. But I mean, far as somebody just saying that they're sovereign and they don't have to pay the taxes, I try to stay away from that kind of stuff right there.
it's a whole slew of stories back to back to back to back on YouTube where you got these sovereign citizens. They feel like they don't need a drive out tag. They don't have to have a driver's license. They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to pay child support. They don't have to pay rent because they're a sovereign citizen. And yeah,
Are you
so
saying sovereign, SOVERINGN? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
where did
And
this come
it's
from?
blacks and whites. They all do.
But
Yeah,
it's a certain language of the law that you got to know, that you got to be able to articulate to even for that stuff to
Yeah,
even like.
that, that's very true. There are sovereign citizens, but you got to know the law. It's a different set of laws, and it's a
right.
different language that they speak for that to apply to you. So most of the people you see doing that are usually just getting themselves in trouble because they don't know the language.
Yes, they get themselves in complete trouble. They go to jail. They end up paying all kind of fines because they really stand on the fact that they're a sovereign citizen. But
Yeah,
obviously, the ones I've seen, I've never seen anybody get away with it.
yeah, I know. I haven't either.
I wouldn't even try that. I mean,
I,
some
I've
things.
seen a,
Say
I've
that
seen a
again,
lot
Shelly.
get. I said I've seen a lot get away with it.
Really, I haven't. That
You
may
got to know the language. Like it's like a, I don't want to say underground, but it's the original law that was written, not these different statutes that come up and stuff. And you have to live a certain way, and you have to not be attached to a lot of things to become that. It's more of a headache than it is
a
a
benefit.
reward.
Yeah,
Yeah, being,
Okay,
Well,
so we have a comment in the chat. There are sovereign organizations that don't have American citizenship. I know some, but it costs a lot of money in attorney fees to go through the process
yeah,
okay.
that's because of the language.
because the attorney knows the
gotcha.
language. So, are you pretty much, does this sovereign conversation, Cola, apply to people who are U.S. citizens, or they're not included in that conversation?
I don't know. I just know that they feel like that they don't operate by the regular American federal laws or state laws. And so because Kevin is on here talking about taxes, I see a lot of them in trouble because they don't pay taxes. And so I was just wondering if he, from a tax, from his financial knowledge, if he could just kind of clear up some of the murky waters and the muddy waters and that some of the things that people are getting confused with. But he said that he stays away from them. I don't blame him.
I would just say don't do it. I mean, that's
Yeah, I don't blame him.
yeah. Look, if you never listen to anything I've ever said before, I would really say don't do it
Yeah,
because
because if you don't know that language, you're gonna talk yourself right into some trouble. That's what you're gonna do.
You gonna talk your and again, if you don't have the finances, if
Yep.
you don't have the finances to legally represent yourself against the government or against the IRS, you out of luck.
and then not
Yep.
only that, is it even financially worth it? Like, because if those extra repercussions that you could be facing, and was it even worth it to be able to try to stand your ground on this sovereign process, whatever that is?
Yep.
For him, it might be, but I'm gonna go back to what he said. He brought up a good point. If you don't have the legal finances to back yourself when you're trying to get out of all of these situations and just not abide by the law, when you are trying to, when you listen to what Joe Blow say, and Joe Blow don't even have all the information.
Yep.
I mean, you better make sure you're financially well enough to back yourself once you get yourself in all of this legal trouble. Because you got to
Yeah.
think, if you get yourself in tax trouble, if you ever want to buy a house, that's out. If you want a loan for a business, that's out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You really will put yourself in a bad situation. Just listen to what Joe Blow said.
And you know what? Let me ask this question while it popped in my head. These tax attorneys, the IRS $10,000. We can get that reduced to pennies on the dollar. Any truth? Any validity? What you got to say about those things?
Now you gotta watch that because a lot of those tax debt resolution companies, they'll tell you that they're gonna negotiate your tax debt, but they won't even file your taxes. So you got to go. You might have to pay somebody else to file a taxes, then go pay them to do what they doing as well. So you got to kind of be careful with that because I know I get a lot of customers that's unsatisfied with that. They charge them a huge amount of money. They take these big deposits out, and then half the work don't be done sometime. So the best thing I would say is try to contact an enroll agent in your area and just get an individual enroll agent to try to work with you because the enroll agent can represent you in front of the IRS.
Can you
Uh,
spell what you're saying?
yeah. What kind
En
of?
enrolled agent. So like you enrolled, like you enrolled in school, ENROLLED agent, an enrolled agent. And
Okay.
for certain tax matters, your tax professional can represent you for certain things too if you fill out the and sign the IRS power of attorney form for them to represent you for certain things as well.
Okay, so how do we find an enrolled
Enroll agent,
agent?
you can
Yeah.
you should be able to go. You can go look on the IRS website, or you
Okay.
could just do a Google search for enroll agents in your area, and you probably not gonna have many of them. I mean, the number is starting to increase because a lot of people in tax business just starting to increase their credentials so they can do more for their clients. But just look up enrolled agents in your area, and the enrolled agent is gonna be the person that's on the same level as a tax attorney that's gonna be able to help you do the tax work and do the tax resolution work as well.
But
Enrolled agent is on the same lines as a tax attorney.
And a CPA. That's how the IRS look at all of them the same.
Okay. CPA. Okay, got it.
so depending on their fees, I'm still in my mind. I'm trying to process how is it better to go that route than just go ahead and pay the IRS what you owe and just get on about your business.
Well, I mean, that just depends on if the IRS say you owe them 30,000. I don't think you're gonna pay that and go about your business.
Don't they have payment plans?
So what I'm saying, so like if you get a good person to represent you, that 30,000 that you owe might can get reduced to 10,000, and you may have to pay the person 6,000 to do it. You saving $14,000. I
Okay.
know I know I wouldn't just volunteer to pay $30,000 back to nobody. I'd have to fight that. That's too much money to just be giving up like that.
No, that's good. These are the things we need to bring out so the people can hear, the advantages and versus the cost benefit analysis.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. That's good. This is some good stuff that's coming out. Um, okay, back to what you were saying, sir. We give the floor back over to you.
To me.
Yes.
Oh, all right, all right. So we was talking about representation. I was just answering y'all question
Hmm.
about answering Cola's question.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have another question.
Uh-huh.
Black people, what are some of the top things that you think that we should know in regards to taxes and finances?
Well,
What are we not doing well on, or what do we need to explore more and learn more about? I mean, yeah, give us some stuff.
I can say on the what you want on the business side or individual aspect.
Let's do individual and then let's do business.
Right.
All right. Well. On the business side, I mean, on the individual side of taxes, a lot of taxpayers don't understand. They don't understand how withholding works. Most people don't know what FICA is. FICA drives people crazy. It ain't nothing but Medicare and Social Security tax combined together that they take out, and it's split up on your W-2 when you look at it in boxes 3 and 5, and then and then besides withholding, they don't understand how some of the credits work. Because when you dealing with taxes, some credits are non-refundable credits where they're not going to put extra money in your pocket, but it'll take away from your tax liability, like a child tax credit. But then you have credits like earned income credit. That's a refundable credit. That's going to go straight into your pocket. So like a lot of people don't understand the uh the tax tables, like how much of a credit that you qualify for based on your income. So you can always have somebody saying, people talk. Oh, I went to such and such and got my taxes filed and I got 9,800. Then you filed a friend taxes and you tell the friend they getting 5,800. Oh, well, my friend said I got 9,800 or whatever, but the situations are different. So they got
Right.
to understand how credits work, how withholding works, and all that, so they can have a better conversation, with the tax professional.
So
Now,
how,
uh
I'm
huh.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so how do we get this information? How do we learn the tax table and the credit boxes, and how do we learn that?
All you have to do is go to irs.gov and get publication 17.
Pub-
Publication 17. That's like the tax handbook. It's gonna be everything you need to know about individual taxes.
okay. And
Publication 17.
okay, and that will give us info on how to fill out our W-2 form.
That's going no your W-4. Well, the W-4 instructions, that's gonna be on the form W-4 itself. So all you have to do is download a W-4 form, and the last pages will be the instructions on there to let you know what's going on for a W-4. But for everything taxes, for deductions, credits, and everything, get publication 17. That's gonna tell you everything you need to know about individual taxes.
Okay.
And now, as far as business, what people struggle with in business with business taxes is it all starts with the bookkeeping. A lot of people don't have efficient bookkeeping processes. So when it comes time for them to produce financial statements, stuff is all over the place. And so sometimes that can cost them extra money if they ever have to get a bookkeeper to do it from scratch, a financial statement from scratch, or have to do a cleanup over something that they already done that wasn't correctly. Some people still like to try to be old school and use spreadsheets instead of getting an online platform like QuickBooks, or they have some other ones. Some people use Gusto, whatever. I'm a QuickBooks user. That's why I always say QuickBooks. But you have to have something that's going to be able to track your cash inflows and outflows, so you can have the statements when you need them. Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay, give us those platforms again. I'm typing them in the chat.
Oh, Publication 17.
No, no, no. QuickBook. You said
Oh,
QuickBook.
QuickBooks. Yeah, QuickBooks. QuickBooks is what I use. QuickBooks, that's how you create your financial statements. And the financial statements, the main four that you need is the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, and the statement of equity.
Okay, and
'Cause
what do you say some other ones were?
some people use Gusto. I'm not too familiar with it, but some people use Gusto. That's one I've heard of before.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was saying on the business side, it starts with the bookkeeping, and what people understand, if you don't have everything in order, if you have a business, you can miss out on a funding opportunity where the money is just sitting in your lap, but you can't get it because you don't have the actual documents that you need to produce for any lending institution to see the profitability of your business. Because ain't nobody just gonna give you money just to be given to you. And on top of that, with businesses, it's just like the structuring that I just talked about. And a lot of people would actually, you'll see people running business that don't even have a EIN number. They're not registered with the state. So really, they're technically running a hobby that they call in a business because it's not, they don't have what they need. And on paper, they're just like the average Joe. So it's really just like people reaching out, trying to find somebody to get the answers that they need. You can't Google everything. And some people get caught up in that. They'll Google stuff, everything on Google ain't gonna be true because you don't know the source that it came from. So sometimes you got to go to a person that can really sit down and hear you out to see what you need, and they can tell you how they can help you because you can't look up everything on the web site.
Entrepreneurs, you cannot Google everything. And I'm always saying, read a book. Read a book and then go verify with a professional, or get the information from the professional and then verify with a book.
Yep.
Like, the basics is in a book. Anyways.
But also too, that's why you also have the tax experts. That's why you
Yes,
pay.
you have the tax experts, but for me, I still like to verify. I still like to verify because, especially in this day and time, because like he said, you got people running hobbies. They're not business owners. They don't know anything about running a business. They just got have a skill and they're just out there
Yeah,
creating a skill. That's it.
yeah,
And that's even for people who do taxes too. And I know he knows what I'm talking about. There
yeah.
is just like you got your shade tree mechanic, people doing taxes just the same way.
But
They
see, now I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of the things that people have to be on the lookout for. You got to know what to look for when you choosing a tax preparer. The first thing is what I would suggest is to get somebody that's highly recommended by somebody that you trust. So
Mm.
that's
Ding
always
ding
a
ding
plus.
ding ding.
That's
Yes.
always a plus. And then you have to know what to look for as far as the preparer credentials. Every tax preparer is supposed to have a PTIN. That's called a preparer's tax identification number, and that number has to be listed on the tax return. That's the first thing.
tell me that
And
to be in the can you bullet that too?
yep, PTIN. And so
PTIN.
yep, PTIN. Every tax preparer should have a PTIN. If they don't have a PTIN, that means that's a red flag for you because they're getting into a system some other kind of way that's not the normal way to get into it to file taxes because that's required by the IRS. And the next thing I would say is if they're working under a business name, make sure you do a business search. You can go on the IRS. I mean, you can go on a Secretary of State, whatever state that you live in, and all you got to do is do a business search and put the business name up in there, and you can see if the business even exists. Because some people could be using the business name. The business could be then got dissolved by the state already, and you don't even much know.
Hmm. So, and I'm glad he's mentioning that because, like I said, in this day and time, everybody got a side hustle, side business. Everybody got an LLC. I mean, everybody have an LLC, and it's just a hobby.
Yep. And then you also have to watch out for people that make unreasonable promises to you too. If you know you're not used to getting huge refunds and everything else, I mean, you might well stay away from that and just get what you're supposed to get because
Right.
when whatever extra money you get when it comes time to pay it back, you probably not gonna have it.
You know what? You right because I remember long years ago, about 15, 20 years ago, a group of my coworkers went to this lady and she got them some money. But when I tell you people got caught up, multiple people got caught up. She was putting, these are regular people, they might
Yep.
have those side hustles that you were talking about. She was putting heavy equipment, machinery, and stuff on their taxes and stuff like that. So, yeah, people ended up having to pay 12. That is funny you mentioned 30. I know somebody had to pay 30 plus $1,000 back
Yep.
because of that situation. So yeah, you definitely got to be careful with whom you do business.
Yes.
Look, go around the corner, get Joe Blow under the tree for certain things, but when it comes to your finances,
Yeah.
Right.
you need them
Right.
you need them
Right.
handled by a trustworthy source.
But
And
someone
then
was
and what people need to know, Cole, I don't mean to cut you off. Once a lot of people don't read the fine print, but once you sign those tax returns, you are acknowledging that all the information is true and correct to the best of your ability. So it's really your responsibility after that. That's why most of the people who do the underhanded stuff, they get ghosts, and it'd be hard to get in touch with them because it's gonna take a certain number of complaints for something to happen to that person. If they're doing stuff like that.
Wow.
and not to knock anyone with a hobby or with a side hustle, all of that is good. So don't take me wrong. Don't take that in a negative way. I should say when we're searching for business information and when we're a startup or when we're looking to do taxes and things of that nature, we want to make sure we're dealing with people who have the real knowledge, people who have been educated in that field that they're in, who can therefore put us in the right places and spaces and help us have our money right.
Yep. And basically, what you're saying is, don't run your business like a hobby. I mean, that's good advice for anybody because you can be losing out on the benefits of having that business by running it like a hobby. So
Right.
some people do that because they, like you said, they don't have the knowledge, they don't know, or they may not have anyone to go to point them in the right direction. And some people just be scared of the unknown, but they know they have that skill to keep making money and paying their bills. So that's more important than anything else. So they just keep on going, I guess, until they run into somebody that can really guide them into the process of transverting from a hobby to a business.
Right. And these people are out there, knowledgeable people are out there, people still going to school for this stuff.
Yeah.
So, and they understand that you can't Google everything. You have to have real knowledge.
Yep. Got to have it.
That's good. That's good. Okay. When you okay, so you talked about the LLC to the nonprofit. What's a
To S
more
corporation, S
S
corp,
corp
LLC
S
to S
corp
corp.
S corporation?
Hmm.
So talk about the nonprofits. That as far as a business, and then I don't know if it would be your area, but like I was at a town hall on this. We actually, you and I both were
Uh
at
huh.
the town hall Saturday,
Hmm.
and we even learned some information like when you even have a nonprofit or you're working on getting grants and things like that, you
Hmm.
need to have your ducks in a row
Yeah, you do.
because a lot of grants get denied because people don't have everything that is needed. So
Yep.
this would be a time to pull up Brother Google or go to your state government, go to the
Yeah.
website to find out what is required. Can you talk to some of that information for me, Kevin?
So for nonprofit organizations, not setting up nonprofit organizations is not. I set up my own, but I normally, but the process of setting up a nonprofit is just like any other business, just like a LLC. You got to get registered with the state first, and then you have to get your tax ID number from the IRS, and then after that, then you have to fill out the form to get the 501c C status if you want that. So as far as for tax purposes, your nonprofit corporation, I mean your nonprofit organization, uh, you just can't skip filing taxes for 2 years. If you miss filing taxes for more than 2 years, they're gonna revoke your nonprofit status. And I just had somebody that happened to somebody this tax season because they were filing that 2021 that I was telling y'all about. I mean that 2020, no 2021 for her because she missed 2 years. So she had to find out that when she filed that she wasn't even a nonprofit organization anymore because she missed that deadline for the nonprofit. Go ahead.
No, in my head, I'm trying to process like not filing. I guess I don't. Maybe what life must have been life in or something. Because
I don't know.
like a
For 2 years,
status
that's a
like
long time.
that.
Yep. And then you have to start all over again and do the process all over again. If you lose that nonprofit status, you have to start all over from the beginning.
But if you start
I
over,
think a
can
lot.
you get it back?
Yeah, I mean it's possible that you could get it back. I ain't no telling how long it could take. You could file for reinstatement, but it's probably gonna cost you money too. So it's better just not to lose it because you
Absolutely.
could lose it. You could lose it at a time where a grant or something could become available because the nonprofit organizations get preferred when they give grants.
Okay, Shelly, you were getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think a lot of people who aren't active in their nonprofit or their business, they don't think it's important to file, or they haven't had any activity, so they feel there's no reason to file. So I was gonna ask him as well, if you haven't been active in it and you haven't really made any money off of it, is it mandatory or is it necessary to file, or what do you file?
Yeah, you still have to file because it's an information return. You reporting to the IRS the financial activities of your nonprofit organization. So if you didn't make any money, you can file a postcard. It's called a postcard on the IRS website. You can file the nonprofit organization postcard, and an e-postcard is going to be your report for what you did during the year, and that's going to you will meet your filing requirements like that. All right. And for people who have small nonprofits who don't take in a lot of money, you can file a 990 easy. That's an easy form. And then for people who have large nonprofits, they file the full form 990 form right there. And if you're gonna get that 501c C3, well 501c status period, you know that most of your funding is gonna have to come from some type of grants, or fundraising, or contributions like that. It can't come from like sales and everything like that. And all you're gonna do is report that every year. Nobody paying taxes off it or nothing. It's just that's how it go. But you have to report everything accurately to make sure that everything, because it's public record. Your nonprofit information is public record. Somebody can go up there and look at it if they want to.
So does a nonprofit have to have a board?
Yes, you have to have a board. That's the administrative side of a nonprofit. You have to have a board. So the way I was advised, get a board, but try to get like an odd number of people in the board. So like y'all can always come to a number that'll come to a decision instead of getting an even number of people and y'all always dead locked on certain things and you can't move forward.
Okay, that's a bullet, guys. If you have a board, have an odd number because you don't want to be deadlocked in a voting decision. So you want to always have an odd number board. That was good. Um, Now nonprofits, you are, and I'm green, or this could help somebody else as well. So a
Mhm.
nonprofit, you do put people on a payroll on a nonprofit,
You can
or you
pay people
don't?
through a nonprofit. You can do that.
So
You
you
can pay them
can make
because I,
money on
I
a nonprofit.
yes, you can make money, but the most of your money has to be from fundraising. It has to be through like grants or donations or fundraising. So you can make other money, but it can't be. Uh, I have to check the percentage, but like it got to be like 70% around that amount has to come from like fundraising or outside sources. It can't come from you making sales. Because then if most of your money comes from sales, that means you're a for-profit organization because you make a sale.
Okay, can a nonprofit be established like under an LLC umbrella? Like, say for instance, you have a parent
No,
company.
that's totally separate because the LLC is a taxable entity.
Okay,
See,
so
a LLC is a taxable entity. Nonprofit is not taxable. So that's two separate things.
okay. So if you have an LLC that you still intend to make money on, you would establish that separately and then keep your LLC
Yeah,
separate
just
from.
establish a separate nonprofit. Yep, because you
Okay.
wouldn't want all that to be mixed in anyway. Because you're gonna need the main thing you need separate business bank accounts for all your bank accounts. Because anybody you shouldn't be mixing your personal account activity with the business account activity. So all that needs to be separate. Whatever account you have for that nonprofit needs to be separate from the account you have for that LLC.
Right. And even if you have multiple LLCs, like I know a lot of real estate companies, like
Hmm.
and so that's where I'm kind of thinking along the lines of, for example, like so they'll have this parent company LLC, but then
Hmm.
they start buying property, and each property they make as a
A company.
individual
Hmm.
LLC. So
Hmm.
liability is limited to
Yes.
that particular LLC, and it doesn't affect the
Yes.
other ones.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Oh, insert DC says, "Hello, good people." It took you a long time to smile, Cola. You know that's your boo. Hey, DC. All right. Okay, Shelly, Cola. Any questions that y'all can think of?
Okay, so you guys is there anything else we need to know about a nonprofit organization, Kevin? In regards to
I mean,
tax.
and with a like you said, you're going with a nonprofit, the administrative, they're gonna have some other administrative things that you got to take care of. So you got to make sure you consult with somebody who specializes in setting up the nonprofit because there's gonna be some other administrative duties that you're gonna need also.
So what would that be? Would that be a nonprofit consultant? So if someone was looking to open up a nonprofit organization, you would suggest that they look for a nonprofit consultant.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
they can do that. You can even they have business bankers. The business banker, they have business departments in the bank that deal
Okay.
with all type of organizations too. So they're knowledgeable too.
Okay. All right.
Okay, what do you think about places like Legal Zoom? That's always advertising every time you try to set up a business name.
See, I don't know. I never had to use them because I do everything on my own. I just learned how to do it on my own, so I really can't say.
Okay. All right. So we talked the nonprofit, the
Escort.
S corp, the LLC. Any other thing, anything else you can think of in the tax arena that we should make the viewers aware of?
I
mean,
mean, go ahead, Cola.
I was gonna say if you could just go over how important making sure our tax history is correct when it comes to purchasing property or purchasing a house. If you could just cover some of those things that you feel like some people may overlook or some people may not find is that important, but tax related stuff in purchasing or being lined up properly with your tax and history as far when it comes to purchasing property and purchasing a house.
Well, with home purchasing, they're gonna want to see at least 2 years of your taxes. So you got to make sure that your taxes was filed in the manner that you're gonna need them for when you get in the house. Because like a lot of people, if you file your taxes with the intent purpose on getting a refund, you might do some things that could lessen your income or minimize your income to where it might knock you out of range to qualify for the loan you might need. So you got to be considerate of everything you're doing when you file your taxes. Because you say like the people we say that just do all these different things, they might put something that makes you have a lesser tax liability but lowers your income, and that lower income that you have may not allow you to qualify for the house based off the 2 years of income that you have. Because the banks they're gonna take your income and they're gonna multiply. I know back in the days they used to multiply times four. I'm not a real estate expert, but they used to take your income and multiply it times four, and that's how much house that you qualify for. So they still probably do it in a similar way. So you got to make sure that your stuff is accurate because if you ever need it, if it's not right, it can hurt you in the long run when it comes to getting the house. So that's really what a house just make sure that you have everything filed on time and make sure you have it filed accurately to make sure you can get what you deserve to get. Because if you do something shady to reduce it, you might not even qualify to get what you're looking for.
And you know what, that real estate question, Cola, thank you, because you allowed the question that I wanted to ask to pop into my head.
Hmm.
So, like, can a person like, I don't want to say the average person, like, okay, like say for me, if I wanted to buy a house, I'm just using
Hmm.
me, but not me, but if I wanted to buy a house and I have a business, would there be any advantages of me buying that house in my business name versus my personal name?
Well, I'm not gonna say advantages far as tax purposes. It's different things that you can write off with from business versus individual home ownership. But the first thing that's gonna change like the perspective of that. If you're gonna buy a house in the business name, that's gonna consider to be commercial property. So a lot of residential loans you're not gonna qualify for. So just say like a FHA loan where you only have to put 3% down, or sometimes you can get 100% financing. That's not gonna qualify for you if you get it through a business because that's gonna be a commercial loan. You have to come up with probably 20% down at least to get the property. So that kind of stuff right there is one of the first things you got to think about to make sure that's what you want to do. So most people get commercial property in the business name because that's going to be invest some type of investment property, some kind of income producing property, and not the primary residence.
Okay. All right. So no advantage to do that unless it's like something that you do plan to like Cole, if I may use you as an example, like for them, for example, they're going to have a home and they're going to be make it to like a medical facility. So,
Hmm.
you know, then if they wanted to, it would be advantageous to have theirs under a business name, right?
Yes, because the your intended use of the property, determines if it's gonna be commercial or residential property. So if you gonna own it through the business, it's certain things that you lose. So just say if you have a home that you own individually in your name, if you sell that home, you get a capital gains exclusion. So the first $250,000 of profit that you make on that house is not taxable if you sell it. Whereas if you get it in the business name, the full 250,000 gonna be taxable. But they got certain things that you can do to defer the tax, like a 1031 exchange. Meaning, like if you take that whole profit from that sale and invest it into another property, you can defer it like that. but it's just extra things that you have to do for that. And then with personal, when you individually own a property, you can deduct the mortgage interest up to $750,000, loans of $750,000. It's just certain little things like that. And so when you file your taxes with a business, you can deduct things like depreciation of the building itself, whereas you can't deduct depreciation on a personal tax return. And then with the commercial ownership of a property, it's gonna be an income producing property. It's a house. So if you're using it for real estate purposes, then you'll get that pass through entity classification like the S corporation and pay less taxes on the money that you make. But far as for living purposes, the best thing to do if you want to buy a house to live in, that'll be to just get it in your own name. And then if you're gonna get any kind of income producing property, get those in your business name.
Okay, so if I know, like, say for instance, if I was to buy a duplex and live in one side and rent the other side out, would that be advantageous to set up a business name to do it, or and run it that way, or would it still work the same as just like, okay, this is my house, it is my primary residence because I'm staying on one side, but then whatever expenses, whatever comes up with that, how does that look?
All right. So with that, remember I said you don't need a S corporation if you're gonna have rental property. So if you have rental property, you would just report the activities from the rental property just from that one side you rent on Schedule E, and you still gonna get the same tax treatment as an S corporation because that's still that passive income taxation that you're gonna get, that pass through income.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Dang, I had another question about that too. Let's see. Oh, okay. So for people with home offices in their home, talk
Hmm.
about that.
All right, you can get home office deductions. So if you're using your house for any business purposes, so what you do, you fill out the form for the home expense, business expense for your home. So the business expense for your home form is gonna ask you, you have to have the total square footage of your house, and then you have the square footage of the room that you actually say is your office or the area that you work in, and they're gonna divide the area that you work in by the total square footage. That's gonna give you a percentage, and based on that percentage, you can deduct different things uh, related to your house as an indirect expense because you have to pay those expenses anyway for living in the house. But you can deduct things like mortgage interest, real estate taxes, utilities, cleaning and maintenance, and stuff like that. That's associated with the house. But you will only get credit for the percentage of it that applies to that space in the house that you use. But it has to be on a business form. So that means you got to really have some type of business, at least a single member LLC or sole proprietor with a tax ID number to file it on Form Schedule C, because that's what the form will be attached to that. It's not going to be attached to just somebody who have a W-2 and say that they do their work for their employer out of that space in their house. That's not going to work. That's not going to be allowed.
Okay. Okay, because and to that point, I think his first term in office, I think he kind of shut a lot of that stuff down. Because I think, like for instance, the flight attendants, how they'll have a crash pad and their home base area, but then actually home where they live, and I think they were able to like deduct their crash pad expenses or some stuff like that. But then I think some of that stuff got shut down in the first term. Yes or no?
Yeah, it was called Form 2106, job related expenses, and like it really got a lot of the people, a lot of the educators too, because teachers were able to write off the supplies and stuff that they buy for the students in the class that they didn't get reimbursed for and stuff like that. So they just eliminated all of that. But I think certain people in the military can still deduct those expenses if my memory serves me correctly, but the average person can't do it.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, chat. Any questions? Cola comment. Shelly. Any additional questions or comments? I know this will kind of be a straight to the point discussion here, but this has definitely been some really good information.
Really
And
has some good information. Yeah.
yes.
I would like to know, are there any credits that we could uh are there any things that we could write off just that, we may not even know about? Some things just might be bypassing us. And a lot of people just don't take advantage of it.
Yeah, they have certain credits like one credit that a lot of homeowners don't know about. They have like energy efficiency credits, like for certain energy efficiency efficient appliances like windows and everything that you add to your house. They got little small credits for stuff like that. For businesses, they have stuff like research and development credits. It's like a lot of stuff like that. So basically the best thing to do is always research before you even go to your tax professional. Just
Mhm.
research the new tax credits for the year that you're filing it.
Okay.
So new tax credits for 2024, and you'll be familiar with what you see that you qualify for. And then when you get with your tax professional, they can just help you verify if you qualify for it or not, or let you know what you need to get into it. Because it's a lot of credits out there that you can get, but everything is not going to apply to everybody.
Right, right, right,
Right.
right.
So even to that point, because like I know in some places, don't if people add solar panels and things like that to
Yeah,
their
that's that's
house.
that's that's, that's energy efficiency. Yep, all that's come with energy efficiency. Yep.
Okay.
Because they even had a credit that they don't have the credit anymore. It expired a couple of years ago, but they had a credit for people who purchase electric vehicles. So if you purchase electric vehicles in the years where they was giving the credit, they was giving you an automatic $7,500 credit. So just say if your tax refund is normally $2,500 for that year, you got $10,000 that you get your credit. It was a credit that you didn't have to pay back.
Oh wow. Well, I tell you what, they might have got the credit now, but when they go to replace those batteries, they was gonna give that credit back in that battery replacement. See, that's one of the things. Look, off topic. That's
Hmm.
one of the things that they don't tell you about with those electric vehicles. Yeah, they good, they charging, but when you have to go replace them batteries, you talking about almost $20,000.
I
So
didn't know that. I didn't
you
know
didn't
that.
know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, look it up, sir. See, there it is.
I did not know that.
That's one of the things. They don't tell you that. Cause even like one time my son was considering getting a Hyundai with an electric battery. I think this
Hmm.
was kind of a hybrid. But even still, the age of the vehicle, and then when we did some research to replace that battery was like $18,000, and that was in a Hyundai.
How
Uh-huh.
often do you have to replace the battery?
I want to say it's like 7 to 10 years, but that's still a lot of money.
That is still a lot of money. That's like buying a new car every 7.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, so do the research. Go look it up and see. But yeah, yeah, to replace those EV, because you got to think they literally have to do whatever it is to take them out. They have to dispose of it. It's not
It's
an
not.
easy replacement. It's
Yeah.
not.
That's that. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Because I mean, I'm not interested in electric vehicles. If I get one, it'll be for local travel. But I mean, you can't go out of town with it. It'll take you 24 hours to take a 6 hour ride. Because you got to find the correct charger. First, you got to find a charging station. Then it may not be the correct charging station that's going to give your car enough power to charge up quickly. It's just too much for me.
Let me tell you, me and my girlfriend, one of my girlfriends, we went to Houston a couple years ago, and she ended up with an electric vehicle. And that was the most annoying situation because everybody was at the charging station, and then of course the rapid charge would go fast. When I Lakeisha Cola, you met her, and when I tell you, we were so annoyed. We was like, never ever ever will we ever rent an electric vehicle, because you're right, you got to find the right charging station, and you got to have time. And if you're going on a road trip, just think, you can pull up what, go at a gas station, you can be out in about 10, 15 minutes, depending on how fast you move. But if you in an EV, you gotta sit for at least about an hour and a half to two
Yep.
hours to get a full charge.
You have
Yep.
to
Hell, when I'm on a road trip, we trying to get it.
do you have to pay for the charge?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not free.
Like
Yeah, I
is it
saw the last charging stations I had was from Shell. Shell got charging stations set up like gas station pumps.
so is it like a one-time charge? I mean a one-time fee to charge it for that one time, or is it per hour or per 30 minutes? How does the pay go?
See, I'm not sure.
Now that part I don't remember. I don't remember what the cost was, but I still, when for a person like me who I feel time is valuable, um
That's
I,
not it. That's not
that's
it.
not it. That's
Yeah.
not it because my time is very valuable.
Give
And
me the
I see
gas.
someone, huh?
I said it will be the gas for me.
It would be the gas for me too, boo.
Yeah.
Look, y'all, look. My boys used to know when I when they were younger and we moved to Atlanta and we used to drive back to Florida. Look, we gonna stop at this gas station. You better go to the bathroom here and now, cause once I get back in this car, we not stopping again until we have to get to the next gas station. So I suggest you minimize your drinking, or you gonna learn how to pee in a cup. So they knew, like, yeah, no, let us, yeah, get to that gas station, get in, get out, get in, get out. And I see somebody put in the chat, electric cars are also a health hazard. See? And they trying to convince us that gas is. No, I'm going to stick with gas. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh wow, this was really, really, really good stuff here, people. So, um, yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, Kevin, do you have anything else that you can think of that's coming top of mind right now?
No, I would just like to leave my website in case anybody wants to schedule some time with me to get some questions answered, or if they need any of the services I provide. And
Can you go over services again, please?
excuse me.
Can you go over those services again, please?
Okay, the services I provide are individual and business tax preparation, bookkeeping, uh, life and health insurance, and property and casualty insurance. That includes business insurance as well, because a lot of our businesses are operating without at least general liability, and that's bad. Because if something happens, somebody sue you, all the money you saved up for that business just gonna be in the wind. And also, cybersecurity insurance, like that's getting real important now, because a lot of games being played with this hacking and all that. If somebody hack into your system and all your customers' information get compromised, you rather have some insurance in place to pay for that, because you probably not gonna have enough money to pay for it by yourself. Because if you got a large client base and all of them sue you, you're not gonna probably have enough money to satisfy everybody trying to sue you. So it's better to have some cybersecurity insurance as well. So that's the things
So is
that
this that the banks have to protect their customers
you talking about protecting from what?
from you if someone gets into their account, steal their credit
Yeah,
card?
it's something like that. Yeah, it's something like that. They call it like they may call it like fraud protection or whatever, or ID theft, but it's all the same thing. Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Wonderful. That's
Wow. And
wonderful. That is wonderful. Thank you so much.
yeah, and because you know that them hackers are relentless, and it's
Honey, that's the new
crazy,
career.
honey.
That's the new career. Thank you, babe.
I mean, they hold the government hostage, so I know I ain't no match for them.
Okay, okay, facts,
That's
facts.
the new career. And I mean, you literally, some of them are geniuses.
Some.
Some of them are geniuses.
And you know what? It's so sad because it's either, and maybe I should let them know that it's either the Georgia State Department of Tolls or the Florida Department of Tolls. Cause I have a Florida Sun Pass that you can use in the express lanes in Georgia, And because I'm special like that, I'm going to pay tolls. And so I just used my pass leaving the townhouse Saturday, Kevin, because you know 75. I
Mhm.
come off of Camp Creek, so 75 was bumper to
Mhm.
bumper, and I rode the express lane, and literally a couple days this week, as recent as either today or yesterday, from a pound 44, which I think that country is England, because I used to know those country codes. Your easy pass toll violation, da 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 da. Click on this link to pay it to avoid. And I'm sitting here like, are y'all for real? Like, I just used this pass for the first time and I can't recall how much, how long. So it's like I don't know if it's the Georgia or if it's the Florida, but one of them systems have been hacked. And I'm getting
Mhm.
text messages from the hackers now. So, and
Yeah,
I
that's
said all
crazy.
that to say it's important when you get random text messages, do not click on those links, whether it's to
No.
your phone, email. I don't care how threatening they are. Do not click on any links. And even if it's from an email address that you know the individual or from a text message, you know, reach out to the person to see if they sent it to you. And there, especially, I can't speak for other providers, but definitely AT&T has a spam number. So if you report the spam, report like send a message to the spam number, report number at AT&T, um,
Mhm.
and then they'll you send the message, and then it's going to ask for the phone number. Copy, send the phone number, block the number, delete the text so you don't accidentally click on that link. So be careful with that because they are relentless out here. And I see somebody put in the chat, Easy Pass customers have been getting those. It's a scam. Oh yeah, I know it's a scam. Thank you for that. So, but then that means it's Florida. That's Florida because Easy Pass is in Florida in the Orlando area because down south is the Sun Pass. But I have the Sun Pass that's good for both Florida and uh, Georgia. Um, okay, Kevin, give me
Yes.
we. I got ready to type in your business website, and then Cola asked about your services.
And you know what I wanted to see? If you stop sharing, can I share the screen and put one of my postcards up there? Because I got a QR code on there and they got all the information on there.
That would be
Absolutely,
good.
but go ahead and give me your website too. I'm gonna type it in the chat, and then I'm gonna let you share the screen.
All right. It's www
Uh huh.
dot Accutax
Uh huh.
ACCUTAX
Uh
B
huh.
as in boy, F as in Frank, S as in Sam.com.
Okay, confirming. www.accu tax B is in boy, F is in Frank, S is in Sam.com.
Yep. .com. That's right. That's it.
Okay. I'm not sharing. Let's see. How can I?
All right. Let me see. Because when I tried to share it, pulled up a million
Yeah, it
windows.
told me that you were asking for permission, but I don't.
There you go.
Okay, there you go. You
Can you
got
see
it.
it?
Yes.
All right. So there I am right there. That's my card. That's my postcard right there with my QR code on there. My phone number, my website is at the bottom, and my email address as well.
Sweet. Okay, guys, definitely. He's available if you have any questions, any comments. Definitely reach out to him. And I think I said earlier you do provide service to other states. Yes.
Oh yes, yes I do.
Okay. All right. Is there a state that do you cover all 50 states or there are states that you're not able to provide service to?
I mean, I can. I just don't have customers in all of them. But the two most difficult states to deal with is California and New York. But I can still help people in California and New York.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Okay. All right, well then we're gonna go ahead and start bringing this in. This right here has been some really good information. And so, guys, let me tell y'all, I was acting a little silly earlier, and I realized that I did not acknowledge. I like to acknowledge the fact that March is Women's History Month. And so I did not acknowledge that. So, first of all, to all women, shout you out and I salute you. And I just wanted to give a shout out or make mention to about Zora Neale Hurston, who was born in Nostalgia. Not, you know what? I don't even know how to pronounce this, but she was born in Alabama on January 7th, 1891. Zora was a world renowned writer and anthropologist. Her novels and short stories and plays often depicted African American life in the South. Her work in anthropology examined Black folklore. Hurston influenced many writers, forever cementing her place in history as one of the foremost female writers of the 20th century. And one of the reasons I really, really wanted to mention Zora, because anybody who has listened to my inspirational segment of my podcast for is minimum 6 months back, especially leading up to the elections. I was constantly, God dropped into my spirit, their eyes were watching God. And that book, that movie is just that reminder. We got to keep our eyes on God in the midst of these uncertainties, because we are in uncertain times right now. It is really what I like to say, hard for the home team is it, but when you keep your eyes of faith, as my lady so elegantly said last week, you tune that out, and you focus on you have to minimize distractions. Don't give into the mass fear. Don't focus on what they want you to keep looking at. You focus, keep your eyes on God, keep your eyes on source. Know that you're protected in all this. But there were some other phenomenal women too that made history. Our Harriet Tubman, Harriet Jacobs, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Sojourner Truth, Ida Bell Wells, Polly Mary, Prathia Hill, and I talked about Fannie Lou Hamer last month. Maxine Waters and Barbara Lee. So there are some phenomenal women, and I'll highlight another one next week. So shout out to all the women who have made history. And I am from Delray Beach, and we have a young lady that's making history right now by the name of Coco Golf. So we gonna give her a shout out as well, cause yeah, her family grew up in our community. So but with that, as we bring this in, and also I do little fun things. Do y'all know, like, there's a national day for everything? And today is actually National Girl Scouts Day and Plant a Flower. So if you're into nature, get out and plant a flower, add to the trees and the growth and the population, because our earth needs it. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. So, Shelly, my man, my
Yes,
man.
yes,
I'm so glad to have
yes.
you back, Shelly.
I appreciate it. I'm glad I'm back and I will be present. All that good stuff. And I guess main thing, tax wise, I'm gonna say make sure y'all stay on top of your taxes. Cause I know I've been on both sides, and when they on you, they on you. So, and the gentleman here definitely sounded like he knows it all. So there's your first step. So there's no excuse. Um, Also, like I always say, add me Shelly Solutions for all your real estate needs and all that good stuff. And stay positive and look up. Always look up.
Always look up, and hold on, don't forget the pastries. I'm glad you said it, because I was, if you had, and I was gonna say, Shelly, give a shout out to your business now, your daughter too.
Um, oh yeah, and poochpastries.org for all your gourmet dog treats. She's excellent. Everything's healthy. everything for your dog. So poochpastries.org. Check that out.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So let us support one another. And you know what? Let we're gonna start sharing. So if you even have a business that you want to highlight or something, and even if you're not on the platform, start dropping them in the chat. Let's start collaborating because those are the things that bring us together and make us better people. And Miss Sylvia, thank you for your comment of a great show. We do appreciate you. And I see we might have lost Miss Cola E for a minute. So,
Remember I
oh,
told you I would be
oh
eating.
yeah, okay, all right, it's that time. So, do you have any final words for our viewers right now, ma'am?
Um, excuse me. Not really. Just follow the advice that Kevin gave us. I mean, he gave us some really good nuggets, and it's obvious that he I mean, he seems to know what he's talking about. He gave us information in the nonprofit sector, the S Corp sector, the LLC, even when it comes to housing and how you should be lined up tax wise. Um, even when it comes to, due dates and, when taxes should be paid. And I mean, yeah, you can tell he's not a fly by night um tax. What's your title, Kevin?
I'm a tax professional. That's what I call myself. Tax professional, insurance agent.
Okay, well, you can tell he's not a fly by night tax professional insurance agent. He's given us some really good nuggets today. A lot of things that I've learned that I haven't heard before, and even how to make, even kind of gave us some guidance on how to find out if your tax person is authentic, if they're an authentic tax person. He um you know guided us on how to search for that. So, with all of that being said, I do believe this was a really good show. We really got some good nuggets, and I hope everybody was able to learn some things, just like myself.
Awesome, awesome. So, Kevin, any Kevin, Cole, I don't know what it is. My energy plays off of when you say stuff, but as I let you finish, I forget because I sure had something pop in my head that I wanted to say or ask, but of course I wanted to be respectful to let you finish. So, Kevin, since I can't think of what it was that I was about to think of and ask, any final words for these beautiful viewers that have tuned in, whether they're live or go back and watch the recording later?
Yes, for all my S corporation and partnership owners, the deadline to have your taxes filed is normally March 15th, but since the 15th is falling on a Saturday this year, it's going to be March 17th. So March 17th by midnight, you have to have everything in. So if you need help with that, y'all reach out to me, and I can try to make sure that you get it in before Monday at midnight.
Okay, so that's for S corp owners,
And partnership, S corps and partnerships.
S corps and partnerships.
That's
Okay,
right.
and then is the 15th for the individual taxes? That
Yeah,
is that.
for individuals, C corporations, and single member LLCs, that's April 15th.
April
Nonprofit, nonprofit is May 15th.
Oh, okay.
And anybody that's working like in Puerto Rico abroad, they get a 6 month extension. They can go. I mean, they can go to June 15th. And they
Mm.
get more time. They get 60 more days to June 15th.
Okay. And then of course everyone knows, and I think this just popped into my head, like there are major benefits in taking out, or you tell us, are there major benefits in taking out FSAs and health savings accounts and things of that nature?
Well, a health savings account is good for you as far as to put money aside to pay your medical expenses as so that the money could be aside as you incur them. But the thing is, whatever part of the if you have, just say if you have an HSA and you don't well, you say FSA first. With most FSA funds, the funds don't roll over.
Right.
So if you don't use them by the end of the year, you're gonna lose it. But with the HSA, whatever funds that's whatever funds that you have in an HSA that you don't spend on qualified medical expenses, it counts as income, and you got to pay taxes on it.
Wait, wait, what?
So just say if you had a health savings account
Uh-huh.
and you put that money in that account, they're gonna
Uh-huh.
send you they're gonna send you a form for that, a 1099 HSA, and that's gonna have all the money that was in your account. It's gonna have your account value on there, and it
Uh-huh.
shows how much that you that was distributed to you, and all the money that you received from the HSA is gonna ask you how much you spent on qualified medical expenses. Any amount that wasn't spent on those expenses is gonna count as income because you got the money, you didn't spend it. So you're gonna pay
So
taxes on that, on the unspent
okay,
amount.
so is that why like people, places like Fidelity will be like, you can invest that money into like other parts of your 401k because of that?
Now, see, I'm not sure about that because
Okay.
401k is retirement and the HSA is for medical. It's two
Right.
different.
Right. But they
That's
say
two
that
different.
you can put roll money from your HSA into like your 401k
And
account.
that may be true. That's more of a human resource question, though, right there.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. We look, we don't want you to go into the waters that people be swimming
Yeah,
in.
that's more. Like I ain't about to make up nothing to tell y'all.
No, no, no. That listen, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Keep it real, keep it real, keep it real. Okay. All right. So and you know what? It keeps popping in my head and leaving, and I need to write stuff down. But we I'll be darned. I can't think of what it is now. Watch. Probably as soon as I hit the stop recording, it's
You
gonna
gonna
pop
remember?
up like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's what I wanted to ask Kevin. Okay, but since I can't think about it, I will not delay the time. Listen, with much love and gratitude, I thank my panel. We have my man Shelly back with us, my guests, and my viewers for joining us. Again, if you are not part of our community, I invite you to subscribe to receive future notifications. Again, as we are here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time with new content, and here on the first, and I'm here on the first of the month offering empowerment sessions for your mental health. So you don't want to miss those. In fact, if you didn't see the one that I put up last week, kind of along this mass hypnosis, like they're using fear to control us, you can find it on my channel. So go back and check it out. Also, we know this was a great, great, great show. So please support us by giving this a thumbs up and by and liking this video. And I will leave you all with a quote that says, don't be afraid, be focused, be determined, be hopeful, be powerful. And that's by the Queen Michelle Obama. Because listen, we know they're trying to use fear to control us. So, therefore, it's important for us not to give into the fear. Always remind yourself that God has not given us the spirit of fear. So, even when they're trying to keep us in that fear factor, do not allow it because you are great. You are powerful. And when you stay focused and determined and hopeful, and as our women said last week, if you don't look to the government to take care of you, you look to the true source who is the creator. You look to God and the create as the creator and the provider of your needs. You will always be taken care of. So listen, until the next time, be blessed, be amazing, and have a great rest of your day or evening. Peace and blessings. Good night.
What you think, Tammy?